What's up, everybody? Welcome in to the Casual Cast podcast. It's 8:07 on a Thursday night, specifically a Thursday, November 20th. I'm your host, Jay Ash of the Casual Cast podcast, and I'm joined, as always, by Jeff and Bubba. What is up, fellas?
How you doing, Ash? Bubba? What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
I'm doing great. I'm like lunch forward in my chair a little bit, looking at myself in the tile, and I feel like my head's larger than my shoulders for the first time in my life. I don't know what's going on. But
got a Mr. Mackey head going there?
Yeah, okay. Bubba, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing fantastic. Like I said, I love that we do this on Thursday nights most of the time because it means the end of the week, the work week.
Speaking of which, I guess next week we'll probably do Wednesday, huh?
Oh, yeah. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, right.
Oh, already. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bubba, what's your hat say? I don't have my glasses on.
It's reminiscent of my trip to Chicago this year. It's a Chicago Cubs hat.
Oh, it's a throwback. I like it.
Yeah, a little throwback. I got it when I went to Wrigley, and if you follow us, you saw those videos. That was a great time.
Very nice. Well, if those that are listening were wondering if this show was scripted in any way, we're reading off a teleprompter, I think I just gave my secret away. We're not. I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see. All right. So anyway, again, the Casual Chaos podcast. This is the sports wagering community. You can follow us on all the socials at Casual Chaos Live. That's going to be anything from Instagram, Facebook, the TikTok, X. If it's out there on social, so are we. Check us out. Comment, like, do all that fun stuff. The pod itself, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, do the same. Follow us, like us. We appreciate it. This coming Sunday, we're back and better than ever, stealing that tagline. Hopefully we don't get fined for it, but we'll be at Glory Days, Carrollwood, North Del Mabry Highway in Tampa, Florida, this Sunday at 1:00 for all the 1:00 games. So come hang out with us out there. We'll be in the Bartolo room. The door's closed, but it's actually open. Just come in, say hi, sit down and talk to us about your plays for the week. We met some people the last time we were out there that came in and wanted to chop it up a little bit. So, feel free to join us. We have a great time doing it. The energy's great. Glory Days is a fantastic place to eat, drink, and watch some football. So come on out, check us out. So,
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I feel like that was like a sponsor deal, but it really wasn't. So
Not yet.
let's just jump. Let's jump into the pod. We're going to be a little fast and furious tonight. Not that we're trying to hurry up. It's just seems a little lean mean tonight. So let's see where we go. But as always, we'll kick it off with talking tickets from either last week or upcoming plays that people have sent in our way. Tyler, what do we got?
We got a few here. We got a couple that came in from last week. Talking winners and losers here. We only got a couple that we'll talk about today. We got Rain Man here. Rain Man was going with my strategy. Just take Cade Otton in the over yards. I'm usually a 65-yard guy. He went with 39 receiving yards against Buffalo. You had Sean Tucker with over one touchdown or more. That cashed. He had 3. But he had Tez Johnson with 3 catches, which didn't come in. And unfortunately, Cade Otton actually did not have a good game. Baker didn't have a great game. He only threw for about $160. So Cade Otton did not hit. Tez Johnson did not hit. Sean Tucker, if you had multiple touchdowns for Sean Tucker, though, you were probably a very, very happy man on Sunday as the Buffalo Bills tore apart the Bucs defense, and the offense didn't look much better either.
Odd though, right? Because there was a lot of points scored in that game, and like you said, the Tampa offense didn't necessarily play very well. So,
yeah, it was just a weird game. Cade Otton didn't get the job done. I think it might have been the only week that I didn't bet Cade Otton's over yards. So maybe I'm just the trigger. Maybe I'm the trigger for it.
You mushed it.
Yeah, but I guess so. And then one other one here, we had Johnny Hammer, and I actually was riding with Johnny Hammer on this one, but he had the over field goals in the Dolphins Commanders game. He had Ollie Gordon to score a touchdown, and then he had the Dolphins minus 2.5. And if you were watching this game, this was the game that was in Spain, first time in Spanish soil that the NFL went. I was playing golf, and I was about 2 seconds away from driving to the airport, getting on a plane flight to Spain and whooping that little guy, that coach from the Dolphins' ass. And not that I could actually whoop his ass, but you going for it in the fourth quarter, under 2 minutes, on the 1 yard line when you have a tie ball game, when the other team has no timeouts, is absurd.
When you've already, especially Tyler, when you've already failed from what's inside the 2 yard line.
It was fucking unbelievable. I was in shock when they were going for it. They don't get it. They get blessed to go to overtime when the Washington field goal kicker misses the game winner at the end of regulation. Then Mariota just is himself, throws a pick first play in overtime, and they end up winning the game by 3. But holy shit, was I fucking fired up on Sunday at 9:30 in the morning too. Nonetheless,
A lot of bad coaching.
It almost ruined my whole day. My whole day, and it was only a $2 bet, and I was the same thing. But jeepers creepers, was that just some bad coaching? I don't know if you guys were watching the game, but unbelievable stuff.
Oh yeah,
over here in Miami.
Not shocked though.
I mean, so many of these guys, and definitely him, are slaves to the analytics these days. You know what I mean? And that's fine. I get it. But sometimes you just have to use common sense. Yeah, you have to. And that's a bad play.
I wish that fucking Todd Bowles, the Bucs coach, was a slave to analytics, because he's not. He's the one that's not, and
he punted on like the 39-yard line.
Yeah, for like 4th and 2, like the game on the line. Got to go for it.
Doing?
What are you punting the ball to Josh Allen for?
I get a 15-yard field goal isn't ideal when you look at a stat sheet, but it was to win the game. The other team didn't have any timeouts. They had no way to stop the clock. Like, it made no sense not to just kick the field goal there and go up. You're up 2 minutes. The other team has no timeouts and a bad quarterback. Just win the game.
Luckily, common sense did prevail, because Tyler had a $2 wager. He must have done the math about what it would have cost to go to the airport, get on a plane, fly to Spain, then take an Uber or a cab, have trouble speaking the language, then track down the coach and beat the shit out of him. So it's a good financial decision on your part too, because the $2 you lost, what were we going to win? 100, 110?
No, that was only a $30 win.
Oh, $30. So yeah.
Besides the point, Jay, it was the principle of the matter. Okay. It was the principle of the matter. And I've never been in a fight in my life, but I could take that guy. If there's one, I could take that Capri guy.
I do
Capri wear and fuck.
I do think you would have won that one. So yeah, I'm with you.
I got some weight on him. I'll just lean on him. I'll lean on him.
Just think about all the press he would have gotten if he actually pulled it off too. It would have worked out.
Oh my God, I was so frustrated. But cooler heads prevailed. I didn't take the plane flight, and we are here.
I'll tell you, I always thought Tyler was a strong guy, but I certainly don't want to be the guy that gets hit for the first time. It's a lot of pent-up anger if he's never been in a fight.
33 years. I've been in the ring. Smoking Joe and Alejandro Fuego have gotten some hits in.
I've seen it. I've been there. I've been there in person. Exactly. Joe still has the scar.
That's good stuff.
Awesome. Well, that's going to do it for Talking Tickets. As always, send in your tickets. You can either use the bio site. Easiest way to do it is through Instagram on a DM, or look us up on the Discord at Casual Chaos Live. Very simple. Send in your plays. We'll either read them off or we'll bring them up for debate beforehand. Either way, communicate with us. That's the whole point of the show as we build this community. So we were going to have our college football correspondent here this evening, but he had a prior engagement. So he's not suspended. It's just, he had other things to do. And unfortunately, that happens sometimes in the podcast world. But we hope to have him next week on a short week. So
he just won't get his paycheck this week. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. We'll the sponsors will cut him out for sure. So we'll just jump into it. I think that, before we get into any type of playoff conversation, I think the biggest news coming out of Saturday, forget about the results, was the coaching carousel came to a little bit of a slowdown, and a coach jumped back in, and that is James Franklin going to Virginia Tech. I think everybody's initial reaction is that makes sense, kind of a, lunch pail organization like Penn State, right? It's a blue collar town, blue collar school, blue collar city for that matter. So what are your initial thoughts on that? And then we could just kind of chop up the rest of college football.
You sort of laid it out. I think it's a good move. It's a similar recruiting zone to what he was dealing with Penn State. So he still has contacts there, right, in that area as far as recruiting goes. It is the ACC, who, hasn't necessarily been a powerhouse conference over the past, 3 or 4 years. So if he can actually recruit there, he's a good enough coach to win games in the ACC. And who knows? I mean, he might make the playoffs a couple times. So I think it makes sense for both. I think it makes sense.
I think
for
it's a
both
good
parties.
fit. Yeah, I think it's a good fit for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Echo and Jeff. I mean, he recruits the same area. It's like how far
Right.
away from Penn State. I mean, he knows all the high schools in those areas.
Yeah.
He's going to recruit the same talent, and he obviously did a pretty good job at Penn State, winning 10+ games every year. So
It's a good hire for VTech.
I think it's a good. I think it's good for all parties involved. I think Penn State will land on their feet somewhat, and I think Virginia Tech wins in this, getting back to maybe the Beamer days of Virginia Tech being that dog that maybe gets some W's that they shouldn't.
Yeah. I mean, again, recruiting wise, like we said, he's got a lot of contacts there. Now he's not going to get the same players he got to go to
Correct.
Penn State, but he has the contacts, which is the important thing. So, I mean, they, and like you said, I mean, it's not like Virginia Tech doesn't have a history of being competitive. So, if he brings them back to, remember when Beamer was doing what he was doing, there was no college playoff. You know what I mean? So he probably would have made the playoff numerous times during his
easily.
run. Yeah.
Easily.
So it's not like Virginia Tech doesn't have a track record of being good enough. So it makes sense, And supposedly he's like, he's just a football junkie. He doesn't do anything else. I mean, he has, they say he has no hobbies. You know what I mean? So a lot of people said, well, it would make sense for him to take a year off, but maybe he's one of those guys that I think would have went nuts if he took a year off. So
what did he end up? What are the details of the contract come out yet, or?
I haven't seen it. No.
I'm gonna say Penn State's probably happy about that.
Well, yeah, because you're right. Whatever he's making comes off the top of what Penn State has to pay him.
Yeah,
so.
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the fine line between passion versus the economics of it, right? Where like you said, if he doesn't have any hobbies and there's no other interest, then the money's irrelevant, right? Because you're just focused on what you're doing. I'm sure his family's fine being taken care of. So,
Oh yeah, he's not going to be standing in the line at the soup kitchen. So
no.
I know that we're obviously a gambling show, but the other coaching story is obviously the Lane Kiffin, right? Like they're, there's publicly parading around to these other two schools, Florida, LSU. So just interesting, to see how that plays out.
I mean, he made a pretty strong statement though. Was it yesterday or the day before that he hasn't talked to anybody?
But
so.
I think some good sources have said that his families went and toured both cities. So
it's possible, I guess. I don't know.
We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Well, his daughter goes to LSU, doesn't she? So he knows what LSU's like, and I believe he's been to Gainesville a time or two. So it's not like he doesn't know. He doesn't need to go tour these places. He knows exactly what these places are like. He just needs to know if the money's right, and that'll come at the end of the year. I don't think he's going anywhere.
Well, it's interesting. So his ex-wife Layla, I used to work with her at the Bucks, and she's a UF. She's UF, right? Her dad was a quarterback at UF. So the kids have a connection to UF. So whether that plays a part in it or not, I'm not sure. I have no idea.
Is Florida a better job than Ole Miss these days? I mean, or is it basically is it lateral?
They'll pay him more probably.
Did you guys see it keeps getting reposted, which I find interesting, or maybe my Instagram feed's just a little wonky, but Herb Street and Russillo talked about it, and Russillo flat out asked him, if you're Lane Kiffin, where'd you go? And Herb Street laid it out for almost 2.5 minutes. In this day and age, I don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Right.
Florida is a premier program, but in today's era, I think you can do that anywhere. As long as you have the money to NIL.
Right, but
which they're not lacking, yeah.
But what do we say? What defines a premier program these days?
Shit, that's not the
same. Won a national championship in this decade or this millennium. It's really there's only probably 5 to 10.
See again with the playoff, with 12 teams getting in, and maybe more soon, right? But with 12 teams getting in, I don't know, man. I don't know what it used to be that there was 5 schools that were on the mountaintop that everybody wanted to work at. I don't know if that's the case anymore. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
You have more of a chance as long as these programs can get NIL money, you have an opportunity. In the way that the portal works and all that.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to go anywhere. I think he's just going to use this to get more money at Ole Miss, which would be smart from him. Really,
Right,
I mean, I think you could win the SEC from Ole Miss just as easy as you win it from, maybe not as easy, but just as much as you can win it at UF.
And what's leaking out is, more or less the higher ups in Ole Miss are like, dude, what are you doing? Right.
Right.
It's time to commit or not. Right.
Well, they want him to say something. Yeah. They want him to
well, he did.
Right.
I mean, he made, like I said, he made a pretty strong statement. Yeah.
Yeah. And listen, I mean, LSU won a championship in 2019. Before that, it was 2007. And the Gators haven't won one since 2008. So there's a long in between. And that's,
they're almost even. Yeah.
That goes back to what I said, I think, a pot or two ago. Like, there's Alabama. And then there's Nick Saban, there's Kirby Smart, and then who else?
Yeah, there's
and it's with the playoffs now, you just have to be, playing at the right time. We talked about Notre Dame, and Tyler, you could jump in, but Tyler said it when Notre Dame was 0-2. With the playoff format, as long as they run the table, they're gonna get in, and that means you have a puncher's chance. It's just Ohio State right now seems like the program, the dominant program. And if you look at it, it has all the check boxes, which is the most NIL money, or the biggest, we're going to pay our player money. We bought a championship last year. We're running it back. And until they get beat, it's interesting. No one really even talks about Ohio State right now. It's everybody else.
Right. Because they're so good. But that Ohio State's like a good example of what we're talking about. I mean, remember where they were 12 months ago, right?
Sure.
I mean, there was talk that they may not even make the playoff after they
fire their coach.
Michigan. Yeah,
fire their coach because he can't beat one team. By the way, because he can't beat one team pretty much.
And again, I'm just repeating what Herb Street said. The way he was positioning it is, you go to some of these schools that have these expectations. Ole Miss doesn't have any expectations.
Correct.
Where they're relevant because of Lane Kiffin, right? There's no restoring the glory. It's not like there was a time where there was a decade long where Mississippi won, 4 out of 8 or 4 out of 10, right? But he pointed out the fact that Ryan Day was getting death threats, right, for losing to Michigan. He had guards or police at his house for 48 hours. Yeah. And then they went on to win the national championship. It's like, that shit doesn't get forgotten.
And to Tyler's point, I think he was going to get fired. I don't even think that was a question.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And by the way, if he loses this year to Michigan, those stories are going to come back up again. Like, it's going to happen again. Like, they if he doesn't win with this team, like, they'll have conversations about him being fired.
Well, at least
because they are far and away a better team again.
Yeah, but at least Michigan's better than they were last year. I mean, Michigan was
correct. And 2 years ago, they won the national championship. So, like, I know, you take it a little bit of grain of salt.
But again, back to the original point. I mean, look at what Cignetti's doing at Indiana, right?
Yeah.
And Jay, to your point, there are no expectations there. They just love having him, and he's winning games. And whenever he retires, that program will go back into the doldrums. I mean, that's just what's going to happen.
And he got a break struck full of money.
Yeah, he got a shit ton of money. It's just when they face an SEC team in this playoff, we'll see how that.
I think they're legit.
You say that.
I think they're legit.
They might beat Ohio State in a few weeks.
They may.
They're legit.
Maybe
that
would
Oregon's
be
good?
that would be a statement. That would be a statement for sure if they can beat Ohio State. I mean, they've already made a statement going 11-0, but if they have to play Oklahoma, Bama, I don't know how it's going to seed up, but like it could be a repeat of last year where they're out.
Yeah, but last year was a little fluky because they didn't really play anybody. This year's different. I mean, they got some good wins this year.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, and it's so different now because like to what we were talking about, like years ago when it was only 4 teams, like you lose towards the back half of the season, you're fucked. Like it pays off to lose early in the season.
Yeah.
But now you can kind of get away with losing week 13, week 14 in that range because you can lose 2 games and still get in.
I mean, look at Alabama. I mean,
Bama's got I mean, and their first week of the season loss is shittier than any other loss.
Any other the top 12 teams probably.
Yeah.
All right.
Florida State's nobody.
All right, so let's do this exercise real quick, and I'll let you guys chop up whatever else you want to talk about college football. But right now, looking in parallel, it's eerily similar. All right. So I'll just read the top 12 odds. Ohio State plus 190, Indiana plus 500, A&M plus 750, Notre Dame plus 950, Georgia plus 1,000, Oregon plus 1,300, Texas Tech plus 1,400, Bama plus 1,500, Ole Miss plus 1,700. That's where it starts getting flipped. Oklahoma plus 3,000, Utah plus 5,500, Miami plus 7,000.
Wow.
All right.
Ooh.
So that doesn't even match up with the top 12 at this point. But
Anybody got first touchdown in the Buffalo game?
No, Dalvin Cook.
Yep.
I do not have him either way.
All right.
Nice
Not
run
good.
too.
Well,
Sorry,
they marched right down the field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And they went for it on their own 25.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
did have to go for it on fourth down, but yeah.
But where were you going with that, Jay?
I was just saying, if you had $100, right? It's a gambling show, okay? So we have $200 in play here, right? You can put $100 on one team, $100 on another team. You anchor it with, I'm gonna put $100 on Ohio State because that is a logical favorite at plus 190. So basically 2-1 on your money. So I have $100 to burn. What's the next team you're putting that on? Where's your confidence level in any of these teams to either A, beat Ohio State or run a table for 4 games?
I would
3-4 games.
And it probably wouldn't surprise anybody, but I would probably throw it on Notre Dame just because I like those odds, and I think Notre Dame's really good. They've gotten better as the year has gone along. They have a legitimate quarterback. They have the best – I've been saying this all year, but they have the best player in college football in Love. So I would probably throw it on Notre Dame if it was me. What'd you say? It was like plus 850, plus 900?
Notre Dame plus 950.
Yeah, so I would do that. But I do agree with you. My other pick would be Ohio State. So
Yeah. I'm with you on Ohio State too, and I would throw 100 to win 1,000 on Georgia to run the table. That'd be my pick.
I'm with Bubba on that. I think they got a lot of good wins. I think Georgia's pretty good. I think that quarterback's been there. He had to come in those moments last year and play in a playoff game and almost won the damn thing. So I think
God,
Georgia's
those are
good.
great odds. Yeah, those are great
I think
odds.
Georgia's good and Notre Dame. I like both those. Notre Dame.
I like that
Georgia.
exercise.
I don't like anybody else. I like Indiana. Yes, sure. I think they are a very good football team. I don't trust the whole you saying Indiana. If you talk basketball and the same thing, I'll tell you Indiana. But this isn't basketball.
Yeah.
hey, the football team might be better than the basketball.
No, they
team
are.
these
They
days,
are
you know.
probably better. But just history would tell me I'm not betting on Indiana to win a national championship in football.
Yeah,
But it could happen. Until it happens, it that's always true until it happens.
I guess I'll just wait until we get the Indiana Ohio State matchup in the Big Ten and see what happens there. Otherwise, I just put the 200 on Ohio State at plus 190. But Bubba, I appreciate the compliment. I'm actually looking to start a facility. I think just like esports, sports gambling could be, a professional thing. You can go to college for it, and we need these mental exercises every now and then to think about how we play these odds. I like it.
So that's funny though. You would throw both $100 bills on Ohio State right now, like if you had to do it today.
I don't see a better team. I just think we're in the same
agree.
situation where we're last year. Let's see what happens with the Michigan game. I would venture to guess there is a huge revenge factor with Ohio State this year in Michigan.
Sure.
I don't think the coaching staff is very good. We'll see what happens, but I could be wrong. But if you're going to give Ohio State the bye, and then we have to wait for all the seeding to come out, I just don't see a scenario where they get tripped up. And if they go into the national championship game, which we've seen before, right? They didn't murder Notre Dame last year, but it wasn't really a competitive game.
No, and
You know what I mean?
especially if the other side of the bracket is like beating people are beating each other up, and then the team gets there and it's like, just
Right.
something crazy happens.
So if we're talking wins against gambling, right? You know what I mean? Like, so Jeff, to your point, okay, so it all plays out the same way as it did last year. It's Ohio State and Notre Dame in a national championship game. 8 points? 8 points? 9?
Yeah. something like that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So again, if you like Notre Dame, if you put the money on Ohio State, if I put 200 on Ohio State and I'm going to win, let's just call it 400. Right. When it comes game time, I can throw $100 on Notre Dame and I'm going to be in a plus 300 to 400 situation. So I'm going to hedge.
Yeah.
Right. And still make money either way from a gambling perspective. But there's no way you go into Notre Dame, Ohio State going, unless you're a Notre Dame fan going, yeah, we're going to beat these guys.
That's fair. I mean, that's fair. I understand. I get it.
Yeah. And you could say the same thing about almost everybody else if they're in that scenario that would be on that side of the bracket. Like you could almost say that about every team that is. I mean, maybe Georgia. You may. What would that line be?
Well,
4,
Georgia,
you know?
Georgia, that line would be 3 or 4 because it's SEC. Kirby's got the pedigree. It'll drag the line down. But
still, you got to be thinking this team's better.
I would hammer Ohio State in that matchup.
Yeah.
Georgia's defense is not what it used to be.
They're not. I agree. I don't think they're the same team. You know what would be interesting is so you got Ohio State and Indiana have basically been 1-2 since they came out with the committee rankings, and they're going to play each other in the Big Ten championship, assuming neither team loses before then. They're both probably going to get a bye, right? Unless one of those teams just wins by 30 in that game, because we've seen that they don't really hold losses against those teams in those conference championship games. Mm-hmm. So there's a good chance that Ohio State and Indiana both, because remember last year it was you had to be a conference champion to get a bye. This year, now it's just the top 4 teams. So,
which makes more sense.
There's a good chance that both of those teams still get a bye this year. So,
and
the only go ahead, Tyler.
Yeah, another interesting thing is Georgia, I believe, and I could be wrong, but I'm almost positive because I believe Ole Miss beat Georgia. Correct? That's their only loss.
I think so.
There is a way it all shakes out that Georgia
Georgia beat Ole Miss.
Did they? Who's Georgia's lost to Alabama?
I'm looking right now.
Bama lost.
Yeah. There's a world where Georgia doesn't have to play in the SEC, doesn't make the SEC championship game, and still gets a bye. So they're going to have effectively 3 weeks before they play.
If they beat Georgia Tech in the last game of the season, they're going to roll Charlotte. If they beat Georgia Tech, who's ranked 14th, I think, they'll move up to 3. If Indiana loses, like you said, Jeff, by 30, and then Texas A&M plays Texas at the end of the last game of the season. So if they can beat them,
I'm just talking about the SEC championship would be probably Alabama would get in over them because they have the same record, and they would be the tiebreaker would go to Alabama. And Texas A&M's undefeated, so Alabama would go against Texas A&M, and so they wouldn't even have to play in the SEC championship game, and then get a bye in the playoff. Yeah. There's a world where that happens. So it's crazy.
I think the way it works, like right now, I think A&M and Georgia would play in the SEC title game.
Right.
Which
but
isn't
Alabama
guaranteed.
has 2 SEC games to play. They have one less SEC. So Alabama, if they have the same record, will get the tiebreaker because they beat Georgia.
Yep.
Yeah, Alabama's last 2 games are Eastern Illinois and Auburn. So
SEC has an awful schedule this week. Nobody's playing anybody. They all play like the games that you see week 1.
But then the following week there's some good games.
You got rivalry week. Last week's always rivalry week, right?
Right.
Well, Alabama-Auburn, obviously, but Auburn's not really good this year. So I mean, still,
but that's good. That's going to be a competitive game,
and it's at Auburn too.
Yeah.
So.
For sure.
It's going to be interesting to see how it all shakes out. I'm very excited about it. I think Ohio State's far and away the best team in the nation. So I don't know if anything's going to matter, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I think their defense is an NFL defense. They might have like 3 top 5 picks. They might have 4 top 5 picks. Like if they all came out this year, they would have something like that. They're legit. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, man. I'm excited to see how it all shakes out. I would love Michigan to beat them though, and then them not even. And then Michigan goes to the Big Ten championship game, by the way, and plays Indiana. So Ohio State would have the same thing that we're talking about, probably, where they would probably stay in the top. They might drop out of the top 4, but they'd be right there. And then Michigan might be in the conversation to make the playoff. It gets all fucked up here in the next 2 weeks, probably.
I am really looking forward to that Ohio State-Indiana game, especially if they're both undefeated. Yeah, I think that's going to be very interesting. So
that's hype. That is a hyped-up game.
Don't believe the hype.
Look at the Texans driving down the field.
Yeah, Davis Mills touchdown.
Is that a cinnamon? Is that a cinnamon color?
It's
Yeah,
awful. Whatever.
Ruby
it is.
red. We're going with
Ruby
ruby
red?
red. Ruby red
Oh,
jerseys
it's
today.
Wizard of Oz Slipper Week.
Wicked.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well done.
Mm.
Our girl's got COVID, I heard.
Oh, does she know?
Yeah, that's what happens when you're so skinny.
Do you love
Anyway.
to see a missed field goal, by the way, or a missed extra point in these games? It's the line's 5.5 is what I had it at. So
Yeah.
it doesn't get you yet, but at some point it'll fuck you.
Yeah.
Because they're going to go for 2 at some point down the road to make up for it, and they're not going to get it. Now it's 5, and it's just going to be a clusterfuck from here on out. It's a dogfight. Now we're in a dogfight. I didn't know it until we're in it.
Just to put a bow on college football talk. I mean, obviously last week, Oklahoma beating Alabama was a huge outcome. That obviously changed the playoff rankings a little bit. But this week there aren't a lot of big games. I think there's only one that I saw here. I'm trying to find that real quick because
USC Notre Dame,
USC Oregon.
USC Oregon.
Yeah, that's basically the game of the week. And we were talking before we started taping here is that if USC was to beat Oregon, I mean that just throws a monkey wrench into everything, right?
Yeah,
because I mean USC's currently 15. Would they actually jump them in front of Notre Dame after Notre Dame just beat them 2 weeks ago? I don't think they would, but then you got
don't
Miami
matter against each other, Jeff. Remember that.
You got Miami complaining. That exactly what I was going with. You got Miami complaining that they're behind. So that would be really interesting if USC beat Oregon. I don't think that they will though, but it would be interesting. It would be chaos.
I don't know. Do you think that Oregon would be out if they lost? Their only losses to Indiana.
No, I don't think they'd be out because there's so many 2-loss teams, but it would because their 2 losses would be to 2 teams that are in the playoff. So I don't think they're out, but it gets squirrely for the guys down at the bottom, like your Indiana,
the Vanderbilts,
like Vandy. If Vandy wins out, they're going to be
Miami
to
for
be
sure.
In there.
Miami would be probably out if that happened.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know because Notre Dame becomes like the conversation now. They have 3 losses. Or I mean, no, sorry, that'd be down the road, but. I mean, it gets interesting. I don't know what would happen if
the problem with Notre Dame is they only have 2 games left and they don't play anybody. So like they play Syracuse this week. They better win by 30. You know what I mean? They can't win by 8 points against Syracuse. So
they don't have like a big win on their resume really outside of USC.
Right. I mean, but that is a big win, especially if USC beats Oregon.
USC beats Oregon. It's a great
bigger.
Win.
Yeah. So.
Well, I mean, since the UConn Huskies aren't going to get into the playoff situation, even though they're 8-3,
they got to vote in the top 25 this week.
That's it. Just need one. The Oregon. Now that you guys mentioned it, Oregon USC line open at 12.5. Wow. It's down to 10.
Yeah,
still taking the 10 in that situation. We're not touts, but at the same time, this is typically the time of year where fuckery happens with these polls and everybody's got to figure it out. Top 12, we know what the conference championships are going to be, and all of a sudden something goes haywire. So obviously, if you're getting a money line there, you're in the plus 500 range for USC. But if you're just looking for something that might be worthwhile for a close game, plus 10, that's a big number.
Yeah.
So there's no travel. USC and Oregon, it's right up the road. It's familiar. It's a Pac-10 game. I'm sorry, it's a Pac-12 game disguised as a Pac-10 game.
Hey, I was gonna say it used to be a Pac-10, right? We're old enough to remember. So.
Right. So once upon a time. So anyway, all right. Where do you guys want to go from here?
NFL, no.
Well, you want to talk just a little basketball for a second?
Oh yeah.
B-ball.
I mean, NBA. I mean, again, we don't got to spend a lot of time here, but the NBA is interesting because you got Detroit. I mean, we talked about Detroit last week. Detroit's on a 10-game winning streak, actually an 11-game winning streak.
13-2.
Yep. The Thunder are still, the Thunder's got 1 loss all year. You got a Denver Houston game coming up this week. If it's either today or tomorrow. So
that's exciting.
Yeah, that's it. Houston's interesting because I mean they're basically doing the opposite of basically this whole era of basketball right now. They're last in they're number 1 in offensive efficiency in the NBA. but they're last in 3-point shooting. They're last in assists as far as assists. They're one of the top teams as far as mid-range jumpers go, which, as we know, is very frowned upon in basketball these days. And the funniest thing is that they're number 1 in post-ups in the NBA this year. So they're basically playing old-time basketball, and they're putting up the best offensive numbers in the league. So now, obviously, Durant helps with that, which is why they went and got him. But it's interesting, right? I mean, they're playing old school hoops, and it's working. So
are
far,
they still up there in rebounds too? I saw them; they were up there in rebounds for a long time. There,
Bubba, the team is huge. I mean, they're big at like every position.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing without Van Fleet too. You don't have that pure point guard.
Mm-hmm.
But Sengun is a double and a defensive force. But they've unlocked him offensively, right?
Mm-hmm.
He can get to the hoop. He can get a shot anytime he wants. We already know Durant's the best scoring power forward of all time, right? So he's going to get what he wants. But you got Thompson, who is acting like a point guard, but is 6'9", 6'10", super athletic. But and then the rotations they have with Adams coming in, it's just they're a big team and they're playing to their strength, which is smart coaching. And it's not surprising because their coach is a good fucking coach.
No doubt.
Right. And while they're not elite on defense, they're still a good defensive team. And I love it. And you and I have talked about this for years with the 3-point. Like I have no interest in seeing a team jack 53s. I just don't.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's okay, cool. Now we're back to the All-Star conversation we had last week, right? Great.
Yeah, it's only fun if they're making them too, right?
Right. It's just it looks ugly at times, but it's not even about the aesthetics. I think you hit it on the head, Jeff. They're playing an old school way in a new league that actually works because they're not slowing it down. It's not like we're getting we're getting a footwork bank shot from 8 feet in after we got it to 23 seconds. They're letting people cook and guys that can score from whenever they want to get a shot. And, the big thing on them with last year was they couldn't get a bucket when they needed to, right? Jalen Green might, go coast to coast, but that wasn't reliable. I think there's a confidence that's set in with Durant being there that if we need to kick it to this guy, he can bail us out. But until then, I got it. And last year they didn't have that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's my take.
Yep. No doubt. And again, that's why they went and got him. So
yep.
Now he is 37. So let's see if he gets through the year healthy. I mean, that's a huge thing. But and as far as the NBA, I guess we do have to mention LeBron finally came back and what's it, his 23rd season now? 23rd or 24th? Yeah, it's a record, whatever it is. I can't remember what the number is, but it's the most seasons in NBA history. So good on him.
I don't think he had a double-double, but didn't he have like 13 assists?
Yeah. And they were pretty fun to watch too. His assists, they were some of them were pretty
well. And listen, maybe it could be a blessing in disguise, the injury for him, where he's like, "Oh, I'm not the guy. I can't be the guy because physically I can't. It's Luka's team."
Right.
And if he is just playing that point forward mentality and saving his, strength, for lack of a better term, and playing defense when it matters, not all game, but when it matters, he's the smartest guy on the court by far every time, right? His brain's a computer, or, unless he's playing Jokic, right? So if that's the case, it could be a blessing in disguise for Lakers, because if he came into the season like, hey, I'm healthy, I'm still a 28 and 10 guy, and took away from Luka and took away from
Reeves.
Reeves.
Shit. Josh Allen just went down. Sorry to interrupt. He just went down bad. Looks like.
Did he throw an interception?
I don't know. No, they tackled him like awkwardly, and he was like his knee. He was like throwing his fucking knee around. I don't know. It looked weird. Something with his back. It looks like. Anyway,
I'm on a delay.
Oh, sorry. You'll see it here. He gets hit pretty good.
Oh no. Oh no. He got hit in the balls.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
I don't see an injury on ESPN.
Yeah. No. He's.
Okay.
Yeah.
But LeBron, I'm surprised LeBron even came back this early, to be honest with you, to Jay's point. I thought he would sit out, like them being like they're playing well. Like, I know you need to mesh
another week or two, yeah.
fuck, a week, a month. The NBA season's long, man, for these guys. Like, just take it off. Like, I know he wants to, he's a stat patter to a certain degree, so he wants to get more points and more points and more points and all that. But like, just sit out for more. Your team's doing well. You're right. You're firmly in the conversation for the Western Conference. You got one of the best players in the NBA with Luka.
Yeah.
Just hang tight, bro. Just hang tight.
Yeah.
Get your son more minutes. Get your son more minutes. Be the good father. Get your son some more minutes. You see that he got called up and his son went back to the G League.
Yeah.
LeBron took LeBron's spot.
Somebody said he got his son an internship, which was hysterical.
Pretty much.
I saw that.
He actually has played. He played a lot better this year so far. When I saw him play,
He's not an NBA basketball player.
well, he is. He's just he's not at the quality of the NBA player that you've seen.
When LeBron retires, will Bronny James.
I don't know. He might have like the Belichick like thing in his contract, with like he picks the next guy. Like he's got 5 more years in the NBA.
The only thing Bronny James can hope for that compares to Belichick is when Belichick finally breaks up with his girlfriend, Bronny can start dating her and she can manage his career. That's about it. So anyway, the only other thing I will say this, Jeff, I'm looking at the standings right now, and this is unusual. There's actually 11 teams in the East above 500 at this point in the season, and that's typically inverted. There's only 8 in the West.
And we just talked about it last pod, right? Like the West is just way more dominant as far as strength of team. Like we talked about a lot. Like the winners coming out of the West.
Yeah, the top of the conference is definitely better. Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
But the Warriors are 9-8 in that 8th spot, so that would be your 8 playoff teams, which makes sense. I mean, except for the Suns, it's like, whoa, when did the Suns decide to show up this year? No one saw that coming.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the East, typically, Bubba, you're talking about, the playing game is typically a sub 500 team these days.
Yeah.
And it has been for almost a decade.
Yeah,
so,
true.
Giannis is out for a little bit, so we'll see if the Bucks can hang on. The Magic are actually on the rise, which is about time because too good of a team on paper, and it's interesting they're winning without Paolo. I actually have money on them tonight. I haven't looked at the score yet. So we'll see. The East is interesting, but 13-2 for the Pistons is really shocking, and I think 10-5 for the Raptors is no one had that on the bingo card.
Yeah.
No, definitely not. And then as far as college goes, we don't got to spend a lot of time. The best part about college this time of year is that you do see a lot of big non-conference matchups. These teams do play. Now, it's usually neutral site games, but which I don't personally have a problem with. I just like the fact that teams are playing. But, there's been some big games. I mean, UConn beat BYU. Duke beat Kansas. Michigan State beat Kentucky. And then, last night you had Arizona beat UConn, it was last night. Arizona beat UConn in UConn. That was actually a game on campus. So it's just fun to see these teams that all have Final Four aspirations actually playing each other. So it's good.
Playing legit competition and getting playoff ready, which is awesome. Tough loss for UConn last night, but understandable with the injuries. But make your foul shots, different outcome. So. Yeah. Anyway, for those that are interested, at 8:50 p.m., the Magic are up 90-74. We're laying 5 here tonight, so we're in good shape going into the 4th.
There you go.
So, FU Clippers. All right, let's get into the NBA. Week 11 in the
NFL.
books.
NFL.
That's what I said. I'm sorry. Can we edit that out? NFL Week 11. More QBs going down. Chiefs are 5-5. No one knows what's going on there. Bucks are struggling a little bit. Where do you guys want to take this?
I was looking at speaking of standings, I was looking at the standings today, and most of these divisions are like up for grabs, including the
NFC South.
Yeah, NFC South. Yeah. I mean, Carolina's only 1 game behind the Bucks right now. So, I mean, if you look at it real quick, New England is a game in front of Buffalo, and they hold the tiebreaker because they beat Buffalo. The Steelers are 1 game in front of Baltimore. Those teams haven't played yet. Indianapolis is 2 in front of Jacksonville. That feels kind of safe. Denver, obviously the AFC West, you got Denver, the Chargers battling each other, but Denver does have a 2-game lead there now. NFC East, the Eagles are, basically they're up 3 games, so that division is basically over. But NFC North, you got Detroit, Green Bay, and Chicago within 1 game of each other, so they're still battling for it. Like we said, Tampa and Carolina 1 game apart, and then NFC West, Rams, Hawks, and Niners all still fighting. So it's weird because usually teams are pulling. I mean, there's only, depending on if you still get your bye, there's only 6 or 7 games left, and a lot of times these divisions are sort of already separating. But I would say 4 out of the 6 are still wide open, right?
Oh yeah.
So
That's
my real takeaway. I don't. I'll shut up and Bubba and Tyler, sorry, jump in if you got something to say. So
Taylor too.
Taylor too, if he's out there. Yeah, Tyler, pool pond.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Denver Broncos are legit, man. They've been playing good football. Defense is good.
Straight.
Yeah, defense is really good. I mean, it was like a perfect moment for the Chiefs to kind of get back in their groove in the end of that game, had a chance to go down and pretty much put it away and win it. And the defense stood up, got the stop. Denver goes down, scores, game over, or gets the field goal to win it. So Denver's legit, man. Bo Nix is doing enough to keep him in games early, and he's playing great in the second half of games, really. And the defense, is Surtain back, or he's still out, right?
Yeah,
still out. They got a bye week.
I mean, once he gets back, I mean that defense is legit. Their pass rush is phenomenal. They might just be legit, and I don't know if the Chiefs are going to make the playoffs. If the Chiefs don't win this week, the Chiefs are on the outside looking in. They are obviously, but they have to beat the Colts, and they play the Colts this week.
They have to win this week. You're right.
So if they don't win this game, whoever bet the Chiefs not to make the playoffs is looking good on that bet. Might get a good payout.
You hit the nail on the head about Denver, right? I think all of us were relatively high on them, right, in our NFL preview that we did before the season started.
Yeah.
The only question is, and Tyler, you hit on it, is the QB, right? I mean, he's been playing well in the fourth quarter, so like you said, he's been doing just enough to get them wins. But I think most people think he's still a huge question mark for them.
Yeah. Not confident in him to go into somewhere to win a playoff game, but he might not have to do that. He might just be able to play in Mile High and just win it there, right?
He's got a coach or at least an OC who's protecting him at least. They've had some really safe play calling as far as his role goes, but he's made the throws, man. You got to give Bo Nix credit.
Peyton is a really good coach. I mean,
right.
somehow over time it became that he was a byproduct of Breeze. But Peyton is a really good coach, and he's not stupid. So he's like you said, he's taking care of Nix, and so far Nix has rewarded him because, like I said, he's been playing really well in fourth quarters. So
yep, exactly.
Well, the Patriots have won 8 in a row, and Denver's won 8 in a row, and then you've got the Rams winning 5 in a row, and Baltimore on a 4-game winning streak. Other than that.
A non-convincing 4-game winning streak, but yeah, they're winning the games. Yeah,
I did not see that next to the win streak. It just said W4.
Well, context matters, right? They're playing a lot of crappy teams and they're barely winning some of these games. So,
okay.
But look, like you said, the record is the record. They're 1 game behind Pittsburgh right now. They have 2 games left, but one of them is the last game of the year. So maybe that game doesn't even matter. I mean, who knows, right? I guess we'll find out. But
I got a feeling Baltimore will come up later in the podcast, so we'll see what happens. All right.
I love it.
All right.
Obviously got to hit on the story, right? The Cowboys Raiders the other night. Guys come home late. They're obviously gambling. They're out in Vegas hanging out. Goes along with the pod. They get sat for the first drive. What kind of fucking punishment is that? Sitting for the first drive?
Yeah, it's lame.
That's fucking stupid.
I'll tell you exactly what kind of punishment it is. It's, hey, what are you doing, Mr. Schottenheimer? I'm going to sit these guys. And Jerry's saying, the fuck you are.
Yeah.
And he said, well, I've got to make an example. I want to sit them for the first quarter. The fuck you are.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay, they could sit out the first series. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. So there's zero chance he was going to punish those guys. What are you going to do?
Yeah,
the
they
best
must have
two
been on a
players on
heat.
your
They must have been on a heater.
Right. And then, they appeared lethargic. They appeared whatever. It's like, no, they didn't. You got a social media post or somebody sent you a picture. Security sent you a picture. Hey, your boys are still here at 7 a.m. Right.
How about both of them? And both of them kind of going off too, right? Just to show the coach. Hey,
right. So, I mean, and again, there's a difference between, being out at 7 a.m. all night and being out drunk at 7 a.m. all night. Right. So a little less sleep, a little tired. I'm not condoning it, but if you're hammered, it's tough to bounce back, and there's no one said that they were out drinking till 7:30 in the morning. So,
I just had to throw that in there because those guys were obviously doing something, gambling, hanging out.
Listen, we chatted about it a little bit via text. I'm not condoning it, and I'm not saying they shouldn't have sat longer. I mean, like in most situations, listen, if they were third string wide receivers, they would have sat the whole game. They would have
probably
because
wouldn't have dressed.
Because I'm sure there's a team curfew, and you're above the curfew, which is a whole different element. And Jeff hit it earlier. It's not like Pickens. He's not in trouble with the law or anything like that, but it has tendency to be a me guy and not a great locker room guy.
Yeah.
So, listen, at the end of the day, performance backs it up, and they came out and they lit the Raiders up.
They got their team's 4th win of the season. So that's
good. Right. And the Raiders suck.
The Raiders are so bad.
They got the Eagles this week, so that'll be interesting, right? And
it will be interesting.
It's in Dallas, right?
Yeah. And it will be interesting because the Eagles defense is pretty dominant, and we'll see what the Cowboys can do with Jalen Carter, assuming Jalen Carter doesn't spit on somebody before the game. We'll see what they can do. I don't think Javonte Williams is going to have 2 touchdowns and a couple 100 yards again. But at the same time, the Eagles offense has been putrid. So and again, the Raiders, not a good offense, not a good team. They didn't light the Cowboys up. So, maybe there's a little bit of method to Jerry's madness, and maybe the extra defensive players are helping. I don't know quite yet. We don't have a big enough sample size, but I don't think he's going to go in there and drop 35 on them.
Yeah.
Although you wouldn't be shocked if that happened, but I agree with you. I don't expect it to happen. So
no, a bunch of push touchdowns maybe, but I just don't.
That seems like a game. I don't know why when I saw that on the schedule, I saw a defensive touchdown for some reason. I don't know why.
This feels like a game that I think Barkley's gonna have a big game this week. That's my prediction.
He hasn't had one all year.
No, I think he's had one. I think he's had one.
Yeah. He had like an 80-yard run to really skews the numbers, but he had one big game.
All right. Any other games we like this week? I mean, Indy Chiefs is a good game. We'll get that at 1:00 at Glory Days, right?
Yep.
I mean, Steelers Bears is a good game.
That'll be fun
in Chicago. So yeah.
Is Jalen playing?
I haven't heard. I didn't see the practice report today, so I'm not sure.
Okay. All right. Well, with that, let's get into the categories. All right.
Yeah.
Before we get into the categories, one final disclaimer: this is not a tout show. We do this segment because it's for us and you to just talk about what we like this week, and we encourage you to send your tickets in and your comments about what your locks are and player props, etc. So I'm doing that disclaimer only because, boy, did we have a bad week last week, guys.
We did.
Awful.
We did.
Awful.
Yeah.
So you got to own it, and we're going to bounce back because we're semi-professionals, and we're going to see what we can do here. So let's get into the gun to the head lock of the week. Who wants to go first? I know everybody's a little.
I'll go first.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead, Tyler. Yeah.
There's a man.
Yeah, and I think I've been on this team before, and I was on them last week. Our only win of last week, I'm going to ride this week. They were my underdog last week to get the W. I'm going to take the Bears. I don't know if is Rodgers playing this week. I know it's kind of up in the air. There's no props for him right now, so that kind of tells you something.
He practiced today, but it was
Limited.
on the report it was limited, but
Yeah.
he did practice today.
So I'm gonna take it only being 2.5 right now and bank on Rodgers not playing, because I think that number will jump a little bit. Obviously, if Mason Rudolph's the quarterback, I think that number probably will go to 4.5 or 5.
Yeah.
So I like the Bears. Caleb's been playing well. Ben Johnson looks like a good coach and a good hire at this point. They definitely have turned that whole franchise around with just a winning mentality, and winning close games. Obviously, they've been winning a lot of nail biters, but 2.5, I like that number. I think it will move a little bit if Rodgers isn't playing. Even if Rodgers is playing, I think the Bears as an organization just hate that guy, so maybe turn it up a little bit on the Steelers, and I like the Bears to get the job done in Chicago.
There you go. I like that.
See what happens. Rodgers owns the Bears, so
He does.
See if Freddie Mercury or comes in and see what happens. That mustache is fantastic for Rudolph.
Rudolph, yeah. I mean, I'll talk more about Rudolph in a little bit, but he's I mean, as far as backup quarterbacks go, he's pretty good. So I wouldn't necessarily think that's an automatic loss if he has to play. But anyway, my lock of the week, I'm going with the Ravens minus 13.5. Again, playing another garbage team this week. They got the Jets at home, so the Ravens are due for a breakout game, and with them being home, I think this is the week. So minus 13.5. Last week I had the Rams minus 3.5. That was an L because they ended up holding on for dear life and only winning by 2. But yeah, looking for a bounce back with the Ravens this week.
There you go.
T-Mobile.
Go ahead, Jay.
Last week I gave out the Chiefs as a lock, and I went against the numbers because the numbers should have had me on the Broncos with the divisional matchup going into a bye week. That's a first down to the Bills. And I went against the numbers and laid the 3 or 3.5 with the Chiefs, and they lost on the field. So this week I'm going to stick to the numbers, and I'm going to stick to Dan Campbell and the Lions after a loss. And I'm going to lay the 10 points, and they're going to beat up on a bad Giants team. Giants have lost 4 in a row, and I don't care if Dart comes back or not. It's a mishmash offense. It's not really a great defense, and the Lions are at home after losing a weird game with Philly. I just think the offense bounced back. I think they put up 30-plus points, and I just don't see the Giants scoring over 20.
I like it.
Yeah. There you go. And I not mistakenly, but I gave out the Chargers last week, who got their asses beat by the Jacksonville Jaguars. So I don't know if anybody had that on their bingo card, but that one did not work out for me. But this week I took the Buffalo Bills to cover. I found a line at 4.5. I put it down as my lock of the week. Let's see, they're driving. Probably going to kick a field goal here. So we'll know tonight if that hits.
Giving out a lock of the week during the game, Bubba. Come on. Podcast comes out on Friday. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Come on, man. You want people to bet on it or not?
I want people to know on Friday morning that my lock of the week hit.
Well, Bubba, why don't you keep going with your prop of the week?
Prop of the week. So I like Stephon Diggs to get a touchdown. I see here somebody has Drake May to throw some touchdowns as their prop too, I think, or at least a bunch of yards. But I got Stephon Diggs to score a touchdown against the Bengals, plus 115. I think he's going to get in the end zone. I think they're going to get in the end zone often. That's just my take on that. But plus 115.
So since you mentioned it, I'll go next. I got Drake May over 250 passing yards. It's minus 117. I'm surprised that number is as low as it is because Cincy defense is not good. So I'm not necessarily sure what's going on there. Last week I had Flacco over 261.5 versus the Steelers, and he had an awful game. The Steelers completely changed up their defense from the last time they played, and Flacco struggled to do anything against them. So, so I have Drake May over 250 minus 117.
Yeah, I don't think Drake May's ever thrown for 300, Jeff. That's probably why. I think he normally flirts around that 250 number. He's never thrown for 300.
Doesn't he?
He leads the league in passing right now. But he hasn't had a bye week. So if you look at past the game, he's like 5th or 6th. But I like that though. The
Yeah.
Bengals are atrocious defensively.
They are. They really
Not
are.
good. Not good. Not good at the defensive football.
No.
Not good. Not good. So, Tyler, you want to go?
Yeah. I'm gonna throw one. I threw a shot in the dark last week, and I will always ride with Jameis Winston. He's just so much fun. If you saw him pregame, just being Jameis Winston. But I'm gonna ride. I believe he's playing this week because Dylan Gabriel's out due to a concussion. And the Raiders are a really bad football team, as we discussed already. But I'm gonna take Shedeur Sanders anytime touchdown.
Okay. And yeah, he's definitely playing, by the way. Sanders is. He's definitely playing. Yeah.
I'm not saying he's good. I'm not saying he's going to throw for any. I'm going to say he's just going to have a scramble, oh fuck moment, and they're going to get down the field on a pick or something like that, and he's just going to be athletic to a certain degree and get in the end zone. I don't think that won't be watching this game. I'm just plus 650. It's a shot in the dark. He'll hit his little watch, wants to hit his watch celebration. So I'm going to take a guy that just strictly, if it wasn't the Raiders, I probably would never even do anything with this guy, but it's the Raiders, and they're really bad.
All right.
Not that this guy's very good.
Who's the number 4? Who's the number 4 wide receiver for the Cleveland Browns? They may be playing quarterback after who's the defensive end for the Raiders gets his hands on him?
Max Crosby.
Crosby? Yeah.
Yes.
Raiders are just bad.
They might as well just give Myles Garrett the ball.
Yeah, they shouldn't just play this game. Both teams should just line up and just like rock, paper, scissors all the way down the field, and whoever wins
2 out
rock,
of 3
paper,
on
scissors,
point
like,
toss. Yeah.
go a yard. It's just have a field goal contest or something. Would be more fun.
I hope you hit your bet, but this could be his one and only start in the NFL.
Mm.
He's not so good.
Yeah, I think he'd be shocked. I think he's going to get some looks.
Do we have time to break that down? He was 4 of 19. He's
I'm
fucking bad.
And
he's not good.
He took like
all it's going to take is the Raiders being that bad and him going, 12 of 15 and them going, oh fuck, okay, look, he did something.
But here's the thing. Here, just real quick, and I'm not going to hit the stats exactly, so I'll just ballpark it. He got sacked like 90 something times at Colorado, right? And it was determined that their offensive line was just putrid. Okay. He was under duress every play in his 23 attempts against the Ravens. All right. Dylan Gabriel got a concussion. Dylan Gabriel's not under duress like that every game. He holds the ball too long. He does not make good decisions.
Well, he
doesn't make quick decisions.
Yeah. He struggles to read defenses. Yeah.
Right. So when he throws the football, he has an NFL caliber arm. He's just not mentally an NFL quarterback. That's it.
Well, we don't need him to be an NFL quarterback. We need him to be a running
back.
No,
you need a running back. That's fair.
That's another issue though, because he's not necessarily
not fast.
Not a great. This needs to be inside the 50. We need to be in the red zone and in just a freak play, kind of go down and him just get in there.
You need
that should be more. That should be plus like 850 or 900.
You need Q to get stuffed several times, and they're like, "Fuck it, Shedeur, run a naked bootleg."
Naked bootleg.
We need some fuckery. There's no doubt about it. We need a little bit of fuckery, but hey, that'll happen.
We're all rooting for you because we're all we're going to throw that team parlay in. So
I'm not hating it.
I'm helping the odds, boys. I'm helping the odds. You guys all with this minus fucking shit.
All right. Well, I don't have a minus other than my record. So last week I had Addison against the Bears, which was again a statistical play, which should have worked out. He eventually caught a touchdown, but JJ McCarthy doesn't know how to throw a football. He might be worse than Shedeur. The jury's still out on that. But man, does he render his wide receivers useless? So bad move trying to get over 60 yards there. He finally got a catch in the fourth quarter. It happened to be a touchdown. So this week I'm going to ride the hot hand, and I'm going to ride against the bad defense. And my other two counterparts here have a piece of this game. So I might as well go at it too. I've got Travion Henderson with 2 touchdowns at plus 400.
Take the over in the game, fellas. Might as well if we're going to throw in this bet because it's a lot of touchdowns.
Yeah, or at least the Patriots.
Patriots
team total for sure. So I again, Travion's been hot now that he's the running back. They're coming off a little bit of rest as well. Cincy's defense is not good against the run or the pass, so this just makes a lot of sense for me. And I just see a 2-touchdown game. I just like the plus 400 as well. It's great.
So this bet, if you put it in on our friends over at the Hard Rock, plus 11,000. I actually have Drake May it was like minus 160 to throw 250 or more on the Hard Rock. So, but yeah, $10 bet pays out over $1,100.
There we go.
Yeah, I got that number off of that was from MGM Bet. So it's
Yep.
minus 117 is pretty good compared to 160.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Yeah. Throw that in, Jeff.
Yeah. Pat's over team total is 28.5.
Yeah, you're already almost there with those bets.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess we should say that it looks like Burrows is going to play this week.
He is. They're saying he's going to play. Yeah.
He was a full participant in practice.
But his star receiver will not be playing because he spit on somebody last week.
Yeah, so why bring him back?
That doesn't make sense. It does not make sense because they don't have an outside chance to get to the playoffs. Like I see if you had that, right? If you had like that outside chance to maybe sneak in, but you're done. The season's over. Why bring him back?
You're not gonna rip off 7 in a row. You're just not.
You know, he's powerful enough in that organization though that if he's healthy and he wants to play, I think I don't think they can pretty much stop him. You know,
that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take his fucking helmet.
True.
Zach Taylor's probably gone this year, so it might not matter. He might probably trying to save his job. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Moneyline dog of the week.
Well, I'll go first only because we touched on this a little bit earlier. I'm going directly against Tyler on this one because he's got the Bears in his lock of the week. I got the Steelers in my underdog of the week. Last week I had the Bucks plus 230, and that game was like a roller coaster because every time I didn't have that game on, but every time I looked at the score, they were up, and then all of a sudden they were down. So, but anyway, I got Steelers plus 125. Like I said earlier, I do expect Rodgers to play. But if he doesn't, I'm fine with Rudolph. Rudolph is fine as a backup quarterback. So you just don't want Rudolph to play 5-6 games in a row. But if he's going to play a game and a half, he can put up numbers, especially in that offense because the way they play, they're run heavy. They throw to the tight ends. So I'm not worried about Rudolph playing in that game. And the defense has actually been pretty good the past 3 weeks. Ever since they moved Ramsey to safety and they sort of changed up their secondary as far as how they're playing defense, the defense has actually been pretty good the past 3 weeks. So, Steelers plus 125. That's what I got.
I like it.
Dig it.
There you go.
I think you guys have been against each other, by the way, the last 2 or 3 weeks, right?
Yeah. I think we have like his lock or my underdog. It's been back and forth. I don't know what the win percentage there is.
Yeah. Well, last week we all suck, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh man. All right. So my underdog play of the week this week, it'll be the game that we're kind of being focused on. I like the Colts. I like the Colts to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I think this is the first year that the Chiefs or Patrick Mahomes has lost 2 in a row. I think it's going to happen again, obviously, because I'm playing the Colts. But I don't know if it's a Taylor Swift shit going on. I don't know what's going on, but they do not look fucking good. So I think Jonathan Taylor's having one of the best seasons, of all time as far as a running back goes. Like the guy is fucking unbelievable this year. So we'll see. But that's my underdog pick of the week, plus 155. I'll be cheering on for the Colts. Probably put prop bets in on both sides, but as far as to win the game, I think the Colts.
One interesting there is Daniel Jones popped up on the injury list today with a calf injury. So
I did see that.
Well, the Chiefs haven't been very good because their defense isn't as good as it was in the past 5 years, and their offense didn't have a receiver for the first 5-6 games because their best ones were on the DL. So I
still believe in KC, but Tyler, like you said, if they don't win this week, they're basically done.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to see them if they're the what 8 seed.
Yeah. 7
seed. Yeah. I don't want to see them if I'm anybody, just because they know how to do it. But I like to play though, Bubba. It would put the nail in the coffin for their season. and
It's
really
not crazy.
and put the Colts in just like a man. You got to feel good if you're the Colts.
Right.
Where
Yeah.
they can go into
I just
Arrowhead
don't
and get
like
that win.
they're finding a
with
way to
them
win
not being
games.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Jay,
That'll
you
be
want it?
interesting. Yeah, I want it. Why not? Who did I have last week?
Seattle.
Seattle. Oh, field goal away. Sam Darnold seeing ghosts out there didn't help anything.
Somehow we both had that game and we both lost. I don't know how that happens. But.
Yeah. Well, that's the strange
Spread
thing
the
about
word.
numbers. So this week I'm actually. Oh, what does that play?
So
We got-
nice run is what it is.
Yeah. Oh, you know what this is setting up, Tyler?
Yeah, Davis Mills, baby.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, I'm going to stay in the NFC West, and I'm going to take the Arizona Cardinals at home plus 145 against my favorite Jacksonville Jaguars. I just think that you're coming off a big win, emotional win. You thumped what everybody thought was a good team, so they're going to be riding high. They're going to come into a team that just lit up the 49ers and somehow lost by double digits. And I just think the Cardinals are a better team at home than people give them credit for. I don't think Jacksonville is very good. You're going the wrong way on the West Coast. It's not East Coast. I'm sorry, West Coast going to East Coast. So the time difference is not that big of a factor, but I just like the Cardinals at home, and I think they take care of business on the field.
There you go.
I flirted with taking Jacksonville as my sort of my lock of the week, but obviously I didn't. I thought better of it, so I'm rooting for Yash. I hope you get that win there.
Well, you thought better of it because it would have been a bad bet.
Well, I mean, except Jacksonville keeps winning games. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, we keep shitting on them, but they keep winning games. So
Very nice.
7.5.
By the way, your Magic bet is looking pretty good. There's 4 minutes left, and I think you're up 18. So sorry, Tyler.
Oh, you're good. I'm gonna go with the Dallas Cowboys this week.
Ooh.
I just think
Sneaky.
the Eagles got a lot of shit going on. Their offense hasn't looked great. Not that the Cowboys defense is like this juggernaut, but their offense has been clicking. They got 2 good wide receivers that are getting the job done for them, and they've already beaten them once this year, and now they're at home. I think they'll be riding a little bit of an emotional ride there with the cornerback that unfortunately reports were potentially committed suicide. This is their first game at home. I believe they played on the road this past weekend. So they'll be at home. I'm sure they'll have some kind of moment for him. So emotions will be high. I think they can get that job done and get the W there and sweep the season series against the Eagles.
Imagine that.
Yeah, right. Not make the play. You would think that if they did that, if you're a Cowboys fan, you would go, "Oh fuck, we might make the playoffs." Nope, probably not.
I kind of forget they even beat the Eagles.
Yeah, right. They kind of handled them to a certain degree.
Kind of crazy.
And
Yeah.
Bubba, I think you had that game too.
I did.
Yeah.
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 Yep.
So that's where I'm going with. So we got the Cowboys, Colts, Cardinals. Oh, we almost had all C's. Jeff goes with the Steelers. So Steelers, Cardinals, Colts, and Cowboys. See what that pays out.
Oh, this is going to happen, Tyler. I could see it. It's coming.
What the extra points going to screw him?
Nope.
No, Davis Mills.
He knows what I'm talking about. Davis.
Oh,
Davis
okay.
Mills,
Davis
baby.
Mills.
Davis Mills.
Davis Mills. All right.
To Davis Mills.
That's it. Let's get into bragging rights. Let's keep it moving.
Man, we're struggling in this freaking category too. Bragging
Yeah,
rights.
you could lead us off
Touchdown.
here, Jeff.
I don't remember. I think Drake May went over. Honestly, I don't remember.
I don't
All
think he
know is
scored a
I don't-
touchdown. I don't think he scored a touchdown.
He didn't. He threw enough yards. I think Breece Hall had over 15 and a half receiving. I think he did, but I don't think Breece Hall scored a touchdown either. So regardless, it lost. This is a loser. So
Tough. By the way, that 4-bet parlay of Colts, Steelers, Cowboys, Cardinals will pay out $10 bet will pay out $330. So nice
Okay.
little one there.
Yeah.
Jay?
Not great. Not great.
Not great.
Not great. That's an 0 for 4.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
So you were exactly wrong. You should win those bets,
Right.
in my opinion.
Right. So I don't have anything to say. It was just terrible.
Moving on.
It's just terrible.
Bubba.
Jets got it done for me Thursday night. Actually, no, that was actually a push. We would have had a push there because it would have been a 3. How would that have worked? I don't know. Bragging rights. If I would have hit the other 3. Anyway, Texans.
The way we're going, we would have gave you the win, man.
Yeah, that's a win.
Okay.
If they all push, it's a fucking win. You got your $25 back.
Texans won, Chargers lost, and the Seahawks lost. So I don't know. I guess 1, 2, and 1.
Yeah.
Anyway, loser.
Well, Bubba, lead us off with what you got this week. Let's hear about the winner that you're going to have this week.
This is a fucking shit show here. The Texans just took the lead 10-9. I got the 5.5 on the Buffalo Bills. I got Pittsburgh Steelers to win, so I like that. Shout out Jeff there. I like the over in the Packers-Minnesota game. It's 41.5. And then I like the San Francisco 49ers to beat up on the Panthers. That's a McCaffrey, show you guys that you really fucked up when you traded me away game. So 25 to win 231 and some change. If Buffalo takes care of business tonight and Rodgers plays, I feel confident that next game will go over and the San Francisco 49ers will win that game. So we'll see.
Nice. Jeff.
All right. So, I got, like Bubba, I got a couple attached to this Buffalo game that's going on right now. I got Allen over 219.5 yards. I think right now he's around 90. So, he's not that far off. Just needs a good second half. The thing I'm more worried about is I got him throwing 2 touchdown passes, and he doesn't have one yet. So that's worrisome at this point. Baltimore Ravens minus 13.5. I threw that in there. That's my lock of the week, so I threw that in here. And same thing with the Steelers. I got them at plus 135 when I threw this in a couple days ago, but so I got the Steelers just winning outright in Chicago. I'd really like to get to Sunday with a chance to win. So I hope Josh Allen has a big second half.
Yep.
Well, in order for that to happen, I think that one of these other guys has to lose. So, Jay, what do you got?
I got the Texans to win here. I've got on a separate ticket. I've got the under in this game for a size of a lot of money. So I like where we're at early on at 10-9, and I like miss extra points. But I got the Texans to win. So by the time we sign off, that's looking good. I've got a Davis Mills anytime touchdown. I also have this straight up. That's plus 1,100. So the odds are juiced a little bit here. I've got Woody Marks over 61.5 yards rushing. He's got 43, 44 in the first half. And I have a Josh Allen interception. So 25 is going to pay $1,025. So this bet is going into the category of bad news doesn't get better with time. And I've been on just a shitty streak, as you guys saw, 0-4 last week in my play. So I just wanted to see if I'm in the game or out of my misery on Thursday. That's it.
I was gonna say what happened to your rule about not betting Thursday, but you just laid it out. So
what the fuck do I know?
Pick. There's your pick. I know I'm ahead of you, but there's your pick.
There you go. That's a check mark.
Oh, it might go back for 6 though. That would hurt the under.
I'm at a commercial for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I'm just seeing the play right now too. Yeah, I'm with you, Ash.
It's gonna set up the Davis Mills touchdown.
Yes, that's we can only hope.
Well, that'd be a hell of a hit if you win. So I'm rooting for you.
Yeah, for some reason that you have the best or like the longest odds, but you're lining up to have probably the best chance.
Right there's a flag, so it's coming back, right? Yeah, it's gonna come back, I assume. Anyway, all right. Well, good luck to us all.
And that's that.
All righty.
I love me some me. Let's go.
I guess a good thing from my perspective is if Texas does take a lead here, Bills are going to have to be throwing the ball around in the second half. So maybe Allen will throw up some yards for me. So
that sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for the pod. Thanks everybody for listening to us. At Casual Chaos Live is all the socials. Check us out, TikTok, Instagram, X. Just go out there, find us, chat with us, send in some tickets, talk to us, like us, don't like us. Just have some fun. Building a community here. We're having a good time doing it. We're going to be at Glory Days again. 1:00 games on Sunday. We will be set up and ready to go at 12 o'clock. So if you're there early, come on in. If you're local and want to hang out, come in and just watch the games with us. Like, come in the room, sit down, shoot the shit. You don't even have to be on mic or camera. Just come and hang out. Those listening, send in your tickets. Get those shouted out if you want to hear your plays, and we'll definitely give you the highs and lows of all the outcomes. So for producer Tyler, for Jeff, for Bubba, I'm Jay Ash. Thanks for joining us. Casual Cast Podcast. We're out.
Bye, everybody.
See ya.
Hi, everyone. This is Jay Ash, one of the hosts of the Casual Cast podcast you are about to listen to discusses gambling and wagering on sporting events. Please be advised the gambling and sports wagering content during this podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only and does not constitute financial or gambling advice. Sports wagering involves significant risk. If you choose to gamble, please do so responsibly and only gamble with funds that you can comfortably afford to lose. All opinions, wagering tickets discussed, or implied wagers on the Casual Cast podcast are not guarantees to result in financial gain. You must be 21 years or older or of legal gambling age in your jurisdiction to participate in sports wagering. Please verify the gambling and sports wagering laws and regulations within your jurisdiction prior to placing bets. Listeners are solely responsible for their own wagering decisions and outcomes. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, help is available. Call or text the National Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-GAMBLER. That's 1-800-426-2537. We encourage everyone to engage with sports betting responsibly. The host and the Casual Cast podcast assume no liability for any losses incurred as a result of listening to this content.